In a small town surrounded by green hills and quiet streets, there lived a girl named Darya. She was married to Sergei, with whom she had been together for many years. Their marriage was full of the usual routine: work, household chores, caring for children. And although Darya loved Sergei, she increasingly felt that life was passing by, leaving behind only faded memories. One day, in the midst of a summer vacation, friends invited them to a dacha on the shore of a lake. While Sergei was busy repairing and laying out the barbecue, Darya decided to take a short walk and enjoy the silence of nature. She took a book with her and settled down on a wooden pier, listening to the soft whisper of the water and the singing of birds. Here, in the midst of a picturesque landscape, Darya met Alexei, a friend of one of their acquaintances. He was an artist. His gaze emanated such warmth and interest that Darya was immediately drawn to him. Their conversations touched on art, literature, and inspiration. Smiling, they began to spend time together, drawing and discussing something. Sincerity was visible in Alexei's eyes, and Darya felt something long forgotten awakening in her. One evening, when the sun was slowly sinking below the horizon, painting the sky in orange and purple tones, Alexei invited Darya for a short walk along the shore. They happily discussed their dreams and hopes, and the more time passed, the more Darya felt that even in the environment around her there was something magical. Lying on the grass and looking at the sky, she suddenly realized how much she missed real emotions, those that were missing in her life with Sergei. And at that moment, when their eyes met, a spark seemed to run between them. Alexei slowly leaned down, and his soft lips touched Darya's lips. It was a gentle kiss, filled with promise and mystery. She couldn't retreat, remembering her feelings, lost among her duties. The night became a new chapter in their lives. They returned home, full of emotions and newfound feelings. Darya was scared, but at the same time it was nice to feel that she was alive again, and her heart began to beat in a new way. They shared a few more moments full of passion and tenderness, until the morning rays of the sun pierced their jubilation. With each day at the dacha, their communication became more and more intimate. In the evening, Darya could steal a glance at Sergei, who was taking care of the children and did not notice that something else was happening in her life. These scattered moments of passion with Alexei became her separate world, where she escaped from everyday life. During one of these meetings in a secluded village, tired of the heat, they decided to swim in the lake. The water was refreshing, and diving into her arms gave Darya a wonderful feeling. They swam, laughed, and enjoyed every minute with pleasure. Alexei pulled her towards him, and again their lips met, no longer embarrassed by the surrounding world. But the thought of betrayal began to weigh heavily on Darya's heart. She understood that, returning to Sergei, she would have to hide it. Two seemingly incompatible sides fought in her mind: responsibility and the desire to be happy. After a wonderful night full of laughter and hugs, Darya woke up early and, leaving Alexei to sleep, walked thoughtfully along the shore. Soon she was overtaken by thoughts about what was happening. She understood that something had to happen, had to work out. She could not continue like this, loving too, being in an eternal search for herself. Finally, returning to the dacha again, she met Sergei after a long day. They were sitting at dinner, and the moment he looked at her, she felt her heart break into pieces. Darya made a decision. She had to be honest, both with herself and with Sergei. But how to admit what had happened? How to allow herself to risk everything for the chance to be happy? That evening, after dinner and subtle hints of tension, Darya told Sergei about her feelings. Her heart was pounding in her chest, and her breath caught with every word. She said that she had long felt the absence of love, that she was looking for inspiration in the arms of another person. Sergei was shocked. Tears rolled down Darya's cheeks, and she could not understand what exactly she wanted to hear. But she had to talk, and a miracle happened. Instead of anger and reproaches, Sergei admitted his part in the problem and expressed a desire to work on the relationship. An incomprehensible sense of freedom came over Darya as they began to discuss together how they could find happiness again. While their relationship took time and effort, she still often thought about Alexei, and although their connection was bright, it did not mean that it was true. In the end, Darya and Sergei's relationship became deeper and more sincere, and even at the threshold of difficult emotions, they found a way to return to each other. Darya Ray.